Hello friends, I'm and today we dive in the fantastic world of Linux, specifically my setup. Now, as you know, I've been testing XOS for some time, but that's for testing. What about my main Linux machine where I do most of my work? Well, this is it, and as you can see, it looks damn good. All the links of the icon packs, themes, wallpapers is in the description, don't worry about it. Let's get started. So here we are on my desktop, and as you can see, it is looking damn good. Just yesterday, I installed Fedora and now I have this pretty nice setup. And yeah, 3 different videos about these 3 applications is coming in the channel. But leaving that, as you can see, it is looking so good. And why is that? You see, as you can see, I'm just using the normal Advaita theme. Let me just show you what I'm using right now. So as you can see, I have Bibata Modernize, which I installed, and then Papyrus Icon theme, and just nothing else. Yeah, I am using something else like the Blur My Shell extension, which actually does the work. Like if I turn it off, it looks like this. This is also nice. As you can see, even without Blur My Shell, it is looking nice. But Blur My Shell is actually just amazing how it works here. And especially considering how minimal this setup is. Well, let me just do one thing. All of this and just properly organize it. Okay, now as you can see, it is pretty minimal. I have my set of application and it's not just that, it's how it is looking. Well, to be honest, it's actually looking way better than the latest Mac OS, isn't it? But yeah, there are a few things which I've changed. For example, when you open any application, you see this. It's different, but it's looking good. And that same applies to files. When we open files, this is how it is looking. So yeah, yes, it looks nice. But that's not just it, is it? You see, I want to use this desktop in my daily life and especially editing videos or creating anything creative. So, what will I do? Well, you see, I'm just gonna tell you something amazing. Well, yeah, I have this whole gallery of amazing wallpapers. The link is in the description, so don't worry about it. And now, I'm gonna show you how you can set up a really nice and minimal desktop like this one without any problems because to be honest, there are a lot of problems. So all you have to do is just write all the details of your laptop do you know about. For example, I have a laptop Asus VivoBook 15 with Ryzen 7 5800HS and RTX 3050. Now I want to install Fedora 42 for video editing, DaVinci, and gaming on Steam. I want nice battery life with performance depending on the power required. Now, as you can see, it will give me all the things I need to do in order to properly set up the whole operating system. For example, disabling secure boot, enabling virtualization, and switching the graphics to switchable or hybrid from the BIOS, and then installing the GNOME variant of Fedora for best experience with simplicity and amazing support of Flatpaks. And then we have all the things we need to do after this. Yeah, it is pretty nice. Like, for example, I didn't do this, so I'm just gonna do it. And then, you have everything. Now, why I'm telling you to use AI? Because we are living 2025 where we actually can use ChatGPT to properly customize a setup. And if we face any problems, for example, let me just try to get a problem. It's a little hard when you try to do it intentionally. For example, sudo dnf install Proton GE. Now, Proton GE is something like a compatibility layer, an amazing compatibility layer, which you can install along with Steam to get the best performance. But when I do it, you see, there's nothing. So I can just copy everything from here, paste it here, and see the magic. And now I'll get all the things I need to do in order to properly install Proton GE. You see, this is how amazing it is. But that's not why I'm creating this video. This video is about the particular setup you're taking a look at. Now, I was thinking about adding a clock here, but I don't know, I don't want to. Because I just like how clean, minimal, and amazing it looks like. Well, yeah, there's one thing I'd like to, debloat my dock or dash. There we go. Now, calendar. And yeah, it's pretty much it. And let me just show you one thing, like the beauty of Fedora is that you can get a lot of things out of the box. For example, in here, the software repositories, I have the non-free as well. Enable new repositories and third-party repositories, RPM Fusion. Now here, I just have to search for it. For example, my GPU driver, NVIDIA. There it is. I have the proprietary driver of NVIDIA GPU along with, well, the driver's control panel, which should be here. There it is. And not just that, you see there's one even better thing on my setup right now, and that is Auto CPU Frick. I believe I should have, an application for that. There we go, Auto CPU Frick. This is a tool which actually handles how much power my CPU and GPU or the CPU fan should have, and what is the performance, what is the amount of CPU power it should give on different occasions and terms. For example, right now I'm using my battery and I'm recording the video, as you can see, and it is in pretty high quality. So what it is doing is just keeping the CPU fan speed high in 3400 RPMs, but it is in power saving governor with the turbo boost is right now off and the CPU usage is pretty minimal, like approximately under 10%. Why is that? Because I'm recording the video from my GPU. If I start NVIDIA SMI, as you can see, OBS is using 5% of my GPU, 190 MBs. So it knows that my CPU doesn't need to work that hard because I'm using my dedicated GPU instead of my integrated GPU. So it is saving a lot of power right now. But the CPU fan speeds and GPU fan speeds are pretty high in order to cool down everything. As you can see, my GPU is getting 8 watts file. As we can see here, the total amount of wattage, which is, my battery is giving to my laptop is 27 watts approximately. From that power, it is powering up my GPU at 8 watts and my CPU at some watts, but it is in power saving governor right now. So it is well balanced and pretty quiet while being at a really nice and cool temperatures, not actually heating up. While in Windows, I used to face a lot of issues with my battery life and temperature and fan noise. And let's say you want to, play games and you wish to use full power of your laptop. So just tell it, I want to play games and I want the maximum performance. And let's say I want to play Farlight 84. Now it will actually give me all the steps I need to do based on my laptop and its specifications. For example, the NVIDIA proprietary drivers, installing Steam, then Proton GE, and then setting everything up, installing the game, and then the performance tweaks, for example, setting my governor to performance, then turning off TLP, which is like a battery saver, and then turning on game mode and cleaning up the background services as well. And not just that, if I say I want to tweak my GPU for even more performance, then I'm not asking to overclock it, but I'm still asking to go even beyond everything. So now it will tell me how can I do that. So right now it's suggesting me to overclock it, so I can use cool bits to overclock it at ease. And then as you can see right now, I am in hybrid mode, which means it uses my integrated GPU for normal tasks, and if I need to use my dedicated GPU, it will just switch it. But if I just go on with NVIDIA settings only, then my integrated GPU will be turned off completely and my dedicated GPU will only be increased. It will indeed increase the performance but reduce the battery life. And then we have the persistence mode. Let me just show you what it is. As you can see, persistence is right now off. That is prime offloading, where we need to get the whole GPU worked up and power on permanently, but we can do it on the boot directly. And then force the maximum performance from Power Miser, which is basically overclocking. And let's say I want to overclock it into a beast. Then it will actually give me that. Now we will be overclocking everything from here, and all I have to do is just copy these commands and put them there. They're all optimized and based on my laptop, specifically designed for my laptops. So you don't need to watch someone else's video about how to overclock or how to tweak your Linux system for performance. It will do it for you. And let's say I want amazing battery life while working with DaVinci Resolve on videos editing. Sorry for the spellings. On battery. It knows what I'm asking for. I want to edit my videos on battery, but still I want really nice battery life, and it knows that I'm gonna need proper performance as well. So first it's gonna use hybrid GPU mode, definitely. Then use TLP, which is like a battery saving manager of a sort, the battery king on Linux. And then GPU power taming. You see, we can cap the power and clocks manually. For example, it has done here, but it is doing that automatically. For example, if I search for here and power Misa, as you can see, the maximum TGP I can reach is 50, but it is right now locked into 35. And as my battery is really low, it will even be locked at, well, 15 to 20 watts on battery life. So yeah, it is like Linux is already pre-configured so well. And then we can disable composite and fancy UI effects, and then SSD optimizations and the power profiles, other stuff. And it has an estimation of battery boost. For example, without tweaks, I would get 3 to 4 hours, but with this setup, I'll get 6 to 8 hours, double. And when I'm editing, like for example, heavy or light editing, then I will get approximately double the battery life. So yeah, it all starts with just you telling all the details of your laptop and telling the AI what you need to do on this laptop and what you desire from your laptop. It will give you everything it can, particularly customized to your laptop. So you can just rest assured and copy all the commands and paste it there. And yeah, some people say that, using AI to do this stuff does not allows us to learn a lot of things which we could if you could just hit and try and fail through various things on the YouTube. Yes, that is correct. We can. And if we just forget AI right now and learn everything by ourselves with hit and trial method, yes, we can learn a lot of stuff. But the question is, do you want to learn that much stuff while all you were hoping for is to get your work done? There's a fine line between what you need to do or what you want to do. For example, yes, I might want to learn about all this stuff which the AI did to do this, but I don't need to do it because, you see, my work is video editing and I chose Linux because Linux is better. But that does not mean that I need to learn Linux that much. While I could just work on my video editing projects and, use that time. It's like the difference between how much time you have and where do you prefer it to go with. Either you can set up everything by yourself and waste countless hours on setting up a perfect Linux distro or a Linux setup, or you can just set up something like this using AI and get your work done. Get started. Get started with your work. Use that time where it needs to go. Why are we installing a Linux setup like this? Because we need to work. We need to work on it. Setting up is not that work. Setting it up is just an initial process where you're just configuring your PC so that you won't have to configure in the future. That is the thing which maybe holds Linux down as compared to Windows or other stuff like Windows or Mac OS, because once you set them up, even if they have a lot of flaws, they won't mess with you in the future about what you have already set up. And you can just start with your work right away. And that is what I ask to all of you guys. Yes, it is true that if you don't have much work, then yeah, you can use your time in customizations, configurations, customizing the course setup and everything. But if you have something important to do, for example, if you're a student, then you must need to put some time in your studies. If you are a professional or just someone who needs to use this whole setup to work on a particular application or a particular work, then do that work. Don't waste time here. Just set up once and start working. Let me in the comments what do you think about this, and feel free to explain. Okay, let me know in the comments what do you think about it. What do you feel about this? And feel free to express your views because that is what I think. Let me know in the comments if you think otherwise or if you feel the same. You see the Linux desktop as a tool to level up in your own life, to level up your work. The Linux setup is not your work. The Linux setup is where you will be working. There's a fine line between that. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you do, then subscribe for more awesome tech videos. And yeah, I just configured this setup and I'm so motivated to create more videos about. I'm going to create 3 videos about these 3 and then I'm going to install DaVinci Resolve Studio, then a lot of games, and I'm going to create a lot of videos about them too. So subscribe if you want to watch them and if you don't want to miss them. And I'll meet you next video. Till then, I'm signing out.